it's Kimberly here. Thank you for coming to my channel, everybody. Well, I'm gonna just give a short update about the stimulus checks. Everything is still in the rounds, and apparently the Republicans have countered an offer of $1,000 stimulus check in the vein of their fiscal responsibility, to cut back on expenses. Their idea is to give working class and poverty-stricken people, poor people, blue-collar workers, a lot less money. I just don't understand that. But Joe Biden has really stuck to his guns about making sure that it's going to be a $1,400 check because he promised $2,000. And there's some talk about, Republican talk about wanting to bring the cap down, the income cap down from $75,000 to $50,000 for individuals to qualify for the stimulus check to be eligible, and down from $150,000 to $100,000 for couples. And Joe Biden is against this, and for a good reason. I think I explained in another video that there's certain people that work on the front lines. They may not be wealthy. They may make a pretty good wage. And if we do this, it would exclude these people from getting a stimulus check, which is absolutely wrong. I do agree that as somebody who's making $300,000, I really don't think a stimulus check, $1,400 or $600, is going to be that, it's going to be not that important to them, because they have amassed, hopefully, a good enough savings to have helped them along, and most of them will probably still be working. If you are working class, you might be in an industry where you're a laborer and you're working according to what's allowed to be open. There's so many businesses that are shut down in this pandemic, like a lot of restaurants, the restaurant industry, which that affects a lot of other things, a lot of the food industry, a lot of equipment makers, people who work in the industries that support some of these industries that have been shut down. Indirectly, a lot of these people lost their jobs too. And they may be making a little bit more than somebody who works in a restaurant, but they still deserve a stimulus check. Those that are independently wealthy, who've got a career or something like that, I have to say my heart doesn't bleed as much for them as for somebody who is struggling on minimum wage or a few dollars above minimum wage. Even middle class people who, making $40,000 a year doesn't make you rich. It makes you comfortable. You can pay your bills, pay rent. You can have a nice car, a decent car. You can afford your groceries. But you do have to keep on a budget. You can't just buy a big expensive house and a big expensive car and be right on the last dime every paycheck. If you're going to make that kind of money, you have that little pocket of extra savings. It's not much, but people like that, they still deserve a stimulus check. When you're working $8, $9, $10 an hour even, that's not even enough to keep you out of the poverty level. That's crazy. That's just unbelievable that Republicans they didn't want to give us a check at all. But with this new administration being all Democrat controlled, they kind of threw us a bone of a $1,000 stimulus check, which they didn't want to do that either. But that's kind of like, I think, a little bit of an olive branch, but, it's a little too short, I mean, that extra $400, come on, get real. These wealthy people that got these massive tax cuts, these millionaires and billionaires last year, or not last year, the one that Trump implemented, and you don't want to give somebody who's making $9 an hour at a restaurant a measly $1,400 check. I mean, where is your heart? What is wrong with you? that's just something that really, I just can't get over that. I can't get over that. I know I mention it a lot in a lot of my videos, but it just blows my mind, that people can think that way. I would never vote for somebody who stands for, the 1%. And I'm not criticizing anybody else's vote. Just, it boggles my mind why people would want to give somebody like that a huge tax break and then not care about working class people. I don't understand that. Oh, there's still going to be some back and forth over this, even though it's going to be run through by the Democrats, because the Republicans are really not, just really don't seem to care about, the stimulus check. And that is a huge part of the package. It's not just all the other, parts of it that are going to be used for government use or other larger city or municipal. Those pieces of it are just a part of it. But the stimulus check is a huge issue because he did make a campaign promise and he is trying to stick to that. So that's kind of like a no-go for him. It's not going to be reduced. So I'm glad that he's sticking to that. And there was some estimation that it was going to be somewhere in the middle of March that we would get these checks. But apparently they're saying now that they're trying to fast track it to be at least by the end of February. So hopefully that works out that way. I'm just hoping so. And I was going to talk a little bit about Dogecoin. If anybody has been paying attention to it, it kind of exploded. And this morning, I think it reached a high today of about 8.5 cents. And I think just as I was making this, right before I made this video, I checked it, and it was about a little in the high, or 7 cents, maybe a little bit above 0.775, something like that, around there, around or about 7 cents, a little bit above that. And then the Bitcoin, it started out, it had a pretty good low today of about 38,944, and it's progressed to 46,300. So that's quite a jump, and it's, there's so many estimations about Bitcoin that it's going to be, well, it's already surpassed 40,000, and that was one prediction. And now it's, edging up, 46,000. I mean, that's the highest it's been so far. And I think there were estimations of going to like 55 and some 65, 75, even 80,000, 100,000 by the end of this year. There's, I think, one, I'm going to call him a joker, that said 1 million. I can't remember who it was. Oh, I mean, he is a well-known person. I mean, very famous person, but I can't remember who it was. And there's several others that are saying it's going to go to 200 or 300,000, and, wishful thinking. I mean, I think it's a possibility, but it would blow my mind if it did that by the end of 2021. Maybe in the future, possibly, I think it could. That's just a massive jump. But, that's comparable to like a stock that was selling at 10 cents, and then it jumps up to, over a course of years, it jumps up to like $12. So it's possible that Bitcoin could do that. It's not impossible at all. It's just such an astronomical number. I think a lot of people just, like me, I won't believe it till it happens. It just, there's been a lot of people that were made millionaires over the past few weeks from Bitcoin and Dogecoin. And I remember I had bought Dogecoin, it was around 5 years ago, and it was around, I don't even remember what it was. It's like 0.0023 cents or below a penny. It's just very, very, actually, I think there were 3 zeros, so it would have been just a minuscule, amount. And there are times that I had 150, 200 200,000 Dogecoins at that price. Had I been able to keep that, I was always, I'd make 20 or 30, 50 bucks, and I took a lot out. I needed gas or to buy dog food or whatever, I was, working paycheck to paycheck, and I was trying to get this little bit of investment going, and I'd get it going for a little bit, but then I'd be a little bit short for gas the next week, and I'd have to take some out. If I'd been able to keep that in there, I just the amount that it would have been, it would be, pot of gold at the end of rainbow for me, I'd say. And there is a new investment app called Albert. I was going to check that out. I just glossed over it. I just barely saw it yesterday, and I wrote it down. I meant to go back and look at it last night, and I forgot. I fell asleep. I was so tired. Well, I just want to say that if you're thinking about investing, be very, very cautious. I'm a little bit of a conservative investor. There's many times I just didn't make the investment because I was so scared I'm going to lose my money, or, so I'm kind of a conservative investor. So even if I do invest, I don't think I'm going to be a millionaire because of that. That holds me back a lot. I'm trying to get a little bit more, pushing the edge a little bit more. Well, yeah, just be very careful if you're making any investments. I'm not endorsing anything. I'm just telling you, these are two of the ones that I have kind of taken an interest in the past few years in watching them. And do your own due diligence. This is, believe me, I have no expert ability in investing or anything like that. But I do think that it's important for your future to think of not just investing in the stock market, anything that you can do that you can make that into something, to broaden your future, anything that brings you success. Then if you know what you're doing, then go for it. Do what you can to make your road a little bit easier to travel down. Great. Well, thank you all. Have a good night, and I'll make some more videos this week. Thank you.